What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ Buck back with you, Buck. It's good to be back, man. Those Monday night games. I don't know how you do the London thing, because even just getting back at 3:00 in the morning after a Monday nighter that's a short flight away in Arizona, it takes me 3 days to recover, man.
So doing the London thing, it's not the first day because I came back on a regular time. I was cool. It's the next night that kind of throws you off, and you kind of have to figure out, like, do I go to bed early and try and get my body clock back right? But not DJ, like even the Monday night game that you did, like flying back, trying to get from the airport to your house and getting in bed and all that other stuff, it does kind of throw you off your normal rhythm.
Yeah, it's weird. I know they're younger, but it does give you a little appreciation for some of these teams and these players that, have a short week on a Thursday, coming off of a night like it. There are things that impact, your performance other than just your health and how well you're playing.
Yeah, and so that's why everyone is trying to find the secret sauce, the right recipe and formula to get your team ready for a short week. You talk about playing on a Thursday night. If you're the road team, um, normally, you have a day off in between. That means you only have really a day and a half to do a walkthrough. Because I know some
Yeah.
teams, what they'll do is they'll give them Monday off, and then they'll wait till later in the day, Tuesday, to bring them in and let them do a practice or a walkthrough. Then Wednesday, travel day. And
Yeah,
so you
you're
have
gone. Yeah.
and that's all you have. So it's a challenge, but they always tell the players on, if you can get through Thursday, you have like a little mini bye weekend to kind of get away and recharge and get back on track.
Hey, no doubt. We are going to get to our game of the week, which we have as the Bills and the Seahawks. So we'll preview that one in just a little bit. I had some rookie stuff I wanted to hit you on because I was going through watching a bunch of tape, and then I started just sorting through stats and looking at numbers. And I was like, okay, let me just find some rookie takeaways that jump out at me here. So I'm going to rip off. There's about 5 different thoughts here that I had after looking at this stuff, but I want to get your reaction. First of all, Philadelphia. I feel like, man, everybody kind of kicked dirt on the Eagles, and you look up and really, they had a close loss. If not for that, they'd be 5-1 right now. They're 4-2. They're blowing teams out. I mean, I know the schedule hadn't been great, but they are blowing teams out. And this was my takeaway. We said it in the draft last year. Their biggest issue was in the secondary. And instead of singling up on that issue, they doubled down. And they got Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. And they're both playing really well. I don't know if you got a chance to see Cooper DeJean at all. He is playing outstanding inside. He is really good in there.
No, so the Philadelphia Eagles are one of those teams that do believe in that theory. They're going to double up. Whatever the weakness is, we're going to go and take 2. We can try and make sure we solve it, because given the odds of finding good players in the draft, you want to kind of increase the odds of your lottery tickets. Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, not only did they get big body players in the secondary, I felt like they get guys that had the versatility that you have to have in the league, meaning they not only can play press, they can play off, they can play inside and outside, right and left. They can do all those things that some of us take for granted when we're evaluating players, but they have what I would say complete toolboxes. And because of that, I think it gives the coach a lot of options. Vic Fangio takes advantage of that, and they're only going to get better. You're right. People might have prematurely jumped off the Eagles bandwagon, but they may round back into form and be one of those teams that we talk about right at the end of the season.
Yeah, the pass rush is cranking. The offensive line is moving people. You've got Saquon back there. You've got your receivers back healthy. It just kind of, I feel like, man, that's a team that could go on a little bit of a run here and kind of be what they've been the last few years. So we'll see what happens there. The next one was right in your backyard, and that is, man, you look at all the different numbers and you sort everything. I mean, Brock Bowers is having an unbelievable year, but in terms of receivers, BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr., has been the best rookie wide receiver.
DJ, so having a chance to see him every weekend and watching him grow. One, the LSU coaches were very honest and transparent when they talked about him being of the two. They talked about Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. They said that Malik Neighbors has the competitive gene, the dog that you want, super competitive, combative, brings it every day. Brian Thomas Jr. is gifted and talented, and if he ever figures it out, his game could go to another level. DJ, when you watch him, everything is real easy and smooth, in and out breaks, the way he runs routes. His acceleration when the ball is in the air is next level. You see him running stride for stride with guys, and then the ball goes, you look at like, how did he get 8 yards behind the DB? Like, he just has what the great ones have. They have that rare ability. They can catch up to the ball. And as quiet as he is off the field, on the field, he is a different guy. And I've said this on broadcast for the Jags. He is their version of Steph Curry. When you watch the Warriors play and you understand how the arena kind of cranks up when he hits 1 or 2 threes, that's what happens for the Jags when he gets the deep ball. And so they made a concerted effort to push the ball down the field. He makes that play, and the offense takes off. He's terrific, man. He's talented.
Yeah, he is more than just someone who can push vertically. He can do a lot of different things, and man, it's looking like him at this point in time is that guy. Now, quarterback play is different around the league with who these guys are playing with, and that can impact some of the numbers. But man, him and Neighbors in the same LSU team is kind of ridiculous. All right, Bucky Irving's been the top running back. So that's going to be more fodder for those that say you can kind of find that back in the middle rounds. And he's been really, really good coming out of Oregon. Stop, start, quickness. He's stronger than you think he is. But Ray Davis would be there as someone that's right behind him that I really like what he brings to the table. But again, it's just kind of another log on that fire of, okay, you can find running backs.
You definitely can find running backs. And I think the bigger thing when it comes to the running back position is making sure that you put them in the right role. Bucky Irving has some really intriguing traits when you watched him at Oregon. You talked about the stop-start quickness. I thought of him as kind of like that change of pace back, the back that you can put on the perimeter and do a few different things with. He is playing a nice role for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that role will only grow without Mike Evans and for sure without Chris Godwin. Look for him to be a bigger part of their offense as they're trying to figure out the new version of this offense without some talented playmakers on the perimeter.
Yeah, Bucky Irving, I'm looking at my notes. I compared him to Devin Singletary, ultra quick, stop, start quicks, jet sweeps. He's got burst. He can change direction at full speed. He vision and cut back. He's elusive. He had 58 catches. He did get bullied a little bit in pass protection, so that was a little bit of the knock there. But you're right. That's kind of one of those pieces where if you're trying to build the backfield, there's a very specific role that he fills, no doubt.
He does fill a very specific role. And the thing that, it's funny, the first few weeks of the season, we didn't talk about young running backs at all. Like they weren't really getting on the field. And some of that, DJ, might be due to the challenges of learning pass protection and being able to put him out there with a quarterback. But now you're seeing these young guys get opportunities. We saw Davis a few weeks ago, Bucky Irving last week. It's really good to see the young running backs playing, even though we said this wasn't like one of those high-end classes. We're still seeing the contributions from the first-year players.
No doubt. All right, this was the numbers I should say that surprised me the most. I looked at scrambled numbers. Okay, Buck, for 3 quarterbacks: for Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. If I was going to ask you, just as like casually paying attention and what the narrative is around these players, who would you assume has the most scrambles of those 3 quarterbacks?
Okay, I would assume that Caleb Williams has the most scrambles because I would think Jaden Daniels would be more of a design quarterback run guy. But I guess you're going to tell me that it's Bo Nix.
So Jaden Daniels has 33 scrambles. Okay. Bo Nix has 27 scrambles. Caleb Williams has 13 scrambles. That's shocking to you because we talked about, Caleb, he's just creative and he's just playing off schedule and he's not playing on time. And it's like, actually, he is playing. Now he's taking some sacks in there because of it. And that's why his sack numbers are up. But that to me showed that is a concerted effort, not only on the Bears' part, but on Caleb's part to do what we said going through the draft process was, hey, major on schedule, minor off schedule. These numbers tell us that's what he's doing.
And that is what he's doing because I can tell you, watching him in London from the sideline, of those 13, 2 of those came against the Jaguars. He picks and chooses his opportunities to run, and he has a real good feel for when to get down when the guys are getting close. And the comparison should never have really been made to Patrick Mahomes, but I think what he's learned from watching Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes uses that club in his bag only when he needs it. He doesn't pull out the sand wedge all the time. He's not out there just saying, I'm a wedge this, I'm a lob wedge it or whatever. He pulls it out when he needs it. And as he continues to gain experience in this league, he will use it in the right moments, critical situations, critical downs, catching the team in 2-man where all the defensive backs have their back to him. And he's like, I just scoot and get a first down and get down. It's just wisely using those legs to create more opportunities to extend drives and make plays for this offense.
Yeah, no, I find it fascinating. Bo Nix He's been running around a lot. I would have guessed his number might even have been higher than Jaden's. And Jaden has been efficient with it. I mean, obviously his rushing stats are excellent. He's making it count when he does take off and scramble, and he's obviously done an incredible job throwing the ball accurately and playing at an extremely high level. But I just thought the scramble numbers there that caught my eye a little bit was not what I expected. One more here, Buck. Last one on the rookie front. If we're talking about rookie duos, and I talked at the top about the Eagles with the two guys in the secondary, man, this is the second year in a row that the Rams have hit on two D linemen. They did it last year, and they've turned around and done the same thing this year. Jared Verse leads all rookies with 32 pressures, and Fisk is second. Braden Fisk with 19. So both Rams, they're leading the league in pressures, rookies.
The thing that I like what the Rams have done, they have a very clear sense of who they want to be and who belongs on their team. When you think of both of those guys, when we talked to Verse and Fisk, they talked about the work ethic and those things. I've seen the reports from the Rams where he's showing up at 5 a.m. and leaving, turning the lights out at night. You love that, and you love that when they're rookies, because what it does is it helps establish the culture. When they eventually become the team leaders, the rest of the team is going to operate like that. You're Les Snead, you're Sean McVay. You love the kind of contributions that you're getting from the young players on the D-line.
Last year, their rookies in terms of pressures, Kobe Turner was third in the league with 53. Byron Young was fourth in the league with 52. So 2 years in a row, they've had two guys in the top 5 of the rookie class in terms of getting pressures on the quarterback. That's how you rebuild a defensive front.
That is how you rebuild it, because they've been able to get those young guys. And DJ, they'll grow together. So now you have the possibility of having a group that can grow together for like 4 or 5 years, much like we saw the San Francisco 49ers do. We've seen other teams do it where that D-line grows together. It just gives you a chance to build your team in a different way.
Yeah, change your identity a little bit. We'll see what they do. It's a big offseason coming up for them in the future here to see how they want to reshape and rebuild. But, man, they've got a good young nucleus on the defense, especially up front on the defensive line. All right, those were a couple of the rookie nuggets I had. We are going to get back and talk about this Bills-Seahawks game right after this.
It's time for Game of the Week, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. This week, it's the Buffalo Bills taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The spread is -3, favoring the Bills. The over-under is 46.5. DJ, this is a great game to check out. You got the Seattle Seahawks coming off a resounding victory over the Atlanta Falcons. After being thumped back-to-back weeks, they found their way. Mike McDonald has this team kind of playing well on defense, and offensively, they're dangerous. They're dangerous because they have the deep ball element when you think about JSN, DK Metcalf, and that group, but they can run the football and play physically. This is going to be a big challenge. It's going to be a really big challenge for the Buffalo Bills defense.
Yeah, I was the lone wolf on these picks we have to do on NFL.com. So I picked the Seahawks to win this game, and having watched a lot of their game and watched their tape this last week, interesting. They played. Let's get to the offensive side of the ball. When they can protect Geno, and outside of the 49er game, when they had, that one they couldn't block Bosa, he was unblockable. But in the games where they've been able to protect him, he's been deadly accurate, and deep down the field too, like get chunk plays down the field. So that's the key on their side of things. Can they block up the Bills and Gregory Rousseau and that crew, who's rushed really well this year? That's going to be key. They're going to have to get that done. But if they can, Geno's been really good. DK and him are in a pretty good spot right now, a pretty good rhythm with where they are. And then you also have Walker, who can get the run game going and also catch the ball out of the backfield. So they've got a nice complementary thing going on offensively. Now, defensively, their defensive front has been explosive and dynamic. They have a lot of young guys, a lot of burst and twitch and explosion up front. Their issue has been at the second level. They've been getting gashed in the run, and it's just poor linebacker play. So what do? They go out and trade for Ernest Jones, who is an interesting case study because I think he's a really good player. And now the guy's been traded twice in the last year. Goes from the Rams to the Titans, and now the Titans to the Seahawks. But I do think that's an upgrade for him. And then the secondary, Seattle's very talented. They can cover. So that to me is kind of the missing piece. We'll see how long it takes Ernest Jones to get up and running. But I think the Seahawks, it's a good football team, and that's, as you know, not an easy place to go play on the road.
No, not an easy place to go play on the road. And you got to make sure that you have it together, that you understand that you need the silent counts and all of those things. To me, DJ, though, when I look at these teams, I think not that it's a must-win game. I think it's a statement game for both teams. If you want to be considered a team that is a heavyweight in both conferences, you have to win a game like this against another really good team. And for the Seahawks in particular, they needed to register a win against someone that may be punching above their weight. So it's a big game. Can't wait to see how it plays out, quarterback play and all that other stuff. But I think these are two very, very evenly matched teams.
When you look at the the landscape in their different conferences, I feel like the AFC, it's not a real dominant group right now. I could see the Bills going on a run. The Seahawks going to have I think a little tougher time not only inside the division, but then when you look at the playoff teams you're going to have to roll through in the NFC right now. It's a little bit longer road there. But I could make a case that Seattle could get hot and could go on a run and could find their way into a conference championship game, and I can easily make the case the Bills could go on a run and be in a conference championship game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it's going to come down to really putting the pieces of the puzzle together. For the Buffalo Bills, the reason why they always have a chance is Josh Allen gives them a chance. And in bringing in Amari Cooper, they acknowledged that they still needed an established playmaker on the perimeter to set the pecking order. Great kid. We saw how well he played immediately when he jumped on the team. For the Seattle Seahawks, to me, is still trying to find their identity in the post-Pete Carroll era. Are they a defensive-led team? Are they an offensive-led team? How can they balance the two and play complementary football? All of those things are a work in progress under Mike Macdonald, but two good teams nonetheless. And if you get a win on this one, I think you have to look at each of these teams a little differently if they're on the winning side.
Last question for me on this game. Josh Allen, 12 touchdowns, no picks. Does Josh Allen leave the Pacific Northwest with a donut in the pick column?
Yes, he does. Josh Allen continues to take care of it. He's found a way to take care of the ball, even though he definitely toes the line when it comes to his risk assessment. He's found a way to take care of it. I'm going to say it continues to go through this weekend.
Yep, it'll be a fun game up there in the Pacific Northwest. I like the Seahawks in a very close game, but man, it is the game of the week for a reason. Can't wait for this one.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code MTS. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook. With the code MTS, the crown is yours.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend of football, man. Really looking forward to it. Also, want to remind everybody, we have Mario Cristobal, head coach, University of Miami, is going to join the show tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that one. It's always great to catch up with him, talk about the culture he's built there and why the Canes are absolutely rolling right now. So look forward to that conversation and hope you will join us for it. That's going to do it for us today. We'll see you next time right here on Move the Sticks.